Hopefully, y'all got a chance to see the title. And my question to everybody is, with everything, all elections and all of that being over, to some extent, we still got stuff we're dealing with, but with the presidential election being over with, how can we use this moment to bring people together? That's my question to America. And there's probably going to be people here that's not per se from America. But how can we get people right now in America to come together? Like, we got a lot of issues that we're facing with in America. Like, it's a whole lot. But on a day-to-day basis, we all got to go outside, you know, go in the stores, interact with people to some level of interaction. But I think it's starting to diminish too far. And I really feel like, as citizens of America, we need to get back to talking to each other, not on the phone, not even on social media to that extent. I mean, yes, we're using it, but that's definitely an avenue. But just every day out in the world, shake somebody's hand, say hello, smile, how you doing? Hope all is well. Um, Things like that. Just communicating and getting to know who people are, your neighbors, and stuff like that. Because I think we got to find a way to get rid of the tension, and it's going to start with one person at a time. That's the truth of the matter. One person at a time. I mean, like, there's racial tension, racial tension against, where people think they stand and don't stand and stuff like that. And a lot of it is just hyped up. It is. Right? A lot of the racial tension is just hyped up. It's just people not wanting to let go of issues that they don't protect per se suffer from themselves, but they still stuck on this racial issue. Like, and like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. This is Freestyle Friday. There's no particular subject, but I did put a subject in it this time. Usually on Fridays, I just kind of go winging it, but um, not that I had to be stuck on that subject, but I just, hey, how you doing? What's going on, Deadpool? Do a backflip? What's up, Chris? For real? How you doing? Yeah, how you doing, Charlene? Let me pull this closer. This phone sometimes I'm use. It's hard for me to really see it. Charles look like Charlene, yeah. But yeah, like, my question is, how you doing? What can we do to bring people together? And if y'all in the comments, please leave a comment, like, subscribe. But just give me your idea. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, just give me your idea of, what y'all World War. Oh, okay, a famous rapper. Okay, okay, okay. But yeah, I just want to know, what do y'all think we can do to bring each other together? Like, like I'm listen, I'm from Philly. I'm gonna be honest with you. Speaking to each other sometimes can be rope works too. Okay, all right, there. You got me laughing. But anyway, like, I'm from Philly, and a lot of times, speaking to people, sometimes they don't even want to speak these days. All right, they don't even want to speak these days, and it's just, like, so my thing is this: is that, I want to know, what can we do? Like, really, seriously, what can we do to bring people together? Like, get rid of all of this somewhat tension that you start to feel. Everybody kind of scared to talk. They're scared to conversate with each other. Even when and I'm not saying this even on the political side, just Philadelphia alone, a lot of times you just walking down the street, everybody just kind of giving each other greasy looks, like, don't speak to me, don't look at me, this and that. Yeah, it is. It is a little dirt. But Oh, Lil Durk on his live. Okay, that's what's up. But yeah, it's I'm sorry about that, but some of these words are a little small, and sometimes my eyesight is great, and sometimes I got a really squinching look, but it's all good. But yeah, I just want to try to find a way for us to come together. Like I really do. Like it's hard to watch people not really like each other, look like everybody just seems like they got a lot of tension. I'm not saying the whole world, but just so we, I want to find a way to kind of bring us together. You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear enough good stories or positive stuff over social media a lot of times. And I actually starting to go hunting for it now. Like I want to go find some good stories, and I want to go find something that I can actually tell on my lives or in videos, just what had happened. Okay, that's what's up, real. Yeah, and just what happened, like good stories, and I'm looking for them. Like I literally had a conversation with somebody saying, you know what? I mean, we talk about politics, we talk about where we stand, we talk about Republican, we talk about Democrat, we talk about liberals, we talk about this, we talk about that. I said, you can't tell me there's nothing good going on. Like, not that there ain't nothing good, but sometimes I just feel like we get too consumed by it, and it's just like there's other things going on in the world that we could be talking about that's positive. I mean, I have no idea who that is. I'm not really. I don't listen. I don't. I stay up with I don't stay up with rap music as much as I used to. Like back in the day, I did. Yeah, I was. But once I got up until probably about the '90s, I just kind of lost sight of it because I stick to the music that I grew up on. I don't really gravitate to what's like this time and age. I stick to the music that I grew up on, like Dre, Snoop Dogg, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, my older type rappers and songs like that. So I'll just once in a while I might come across something like, okay, that ain't too bad, but you know that's the music I grew up on, and that's kind of what I like. So I kind of stick when I listen to music that's more closer to what I listen to. If they're a current artist, I'm probably so far out of touch it ain't funny. I mean, so it's like, you know, so I'm not really, the modern day rappers and stuff like that. I have a lot of respect for them because I want people to have careers and lives and stuff. Appreciate you. Okay, American Redneck, how you doing? How you doing? There's a lot going on, but yeah, since it's like and that's what I think. Like, I think we really have to work on coming together as American citizens, and I really think we do. I think we got to be able to have conversation, even if we don't agree with everything or politically whatever. We got to find a way to come together because at the end of the day, there's a lot of things going on that we do not know about that we're going to have to come together at some point. And if we're not in tune with each other, we could be left with our head down and not realize what's going on. And my point to that is that not it was a tragic accident tragic thing when it happened, but when 9/11 happened, the response afterwards was the way people responded afterwards let me know that people really do care about each other because I seen America come together in a way that I never saw before prior to that. And but I just feel like we should not wait till tragedy happen before we become unified. I think our level of unification should come just because we're all Americans. Yeah, we might be Black American, White American, Asian American, to some extent, if we want to identify those aspects of it. But if we was to come together, we are only strong as a nation the more we're unified. And if we can't find a way to be unified, we open ourselves up to a lot of problems. And that's the truth in America. Like I don't know, like if you grow up in the hood or any neighborhood for that matter, and you got a big family, and people see how your family stick together, usually you don't have a whole lot of problems coming to your whole household. Why? Because they see the unification, and that unification shows strength. So therefore, when they see everybody unified like that, they like, don't mess with them. There's a lot of them, and they together. Like, you ain't gonna just deal with one, you're gonna deal with all of them. So usually when you're in a family like that, you don't deal with a whole lot. And it's the same thing with as a country as a whole. We got to find a way to set aside a lot of our political differences. Not saying change your stance if whatever. I mean, I've changed my stance because I had to and I realized that I needed to. But even at that, I don't get mad at somebody or hate somebody because they don't agree with where my political stance is at, who I vote for, who I don't vote for, what I stand, stuff like that. I don't hate somebody because of it, and I don't try to attack them and stuff like that because they don't agree with me. What I usually do is I say, well, if we can talk about it. I'm not going to argue and fuss with you about it, but we can talk about it. But we have to find a way to come together. We really, really do. And if you're on this live, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That way you get notified anytime I'm putting out a video. But this, if you're born and raised in America, this is your country. And I say this a lot of times. And I think it don't resonate sometimes with people, is that somewhere along the line, I think we forget that this is our country. I don't care what your skin color is. If you're born and raised in America, well, I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump. Donald Trump was I voted for Trump. If you don't believe me, you can at some point go look at my videos like on my page and you will find out exactly who I voted for. And, and at the end of the day, I'm proud of that. I'm glad I did. I voted for Trump, and I had my reasons why I voted for Trump. And I'm glad I did. And I think he was by far the right choice for America. And, some may agree, some may don't agree, but that's who I voted for. And I'm unapologetic for that. I mean, I'm born and raised in the city of Philadelphia. We've been ran by Democrats for years and years and years, and I'm up to here with that. So I just, I feel like, when Trump was in office, we was doing great and things were a lot better as a country as a whole, and I was good with that. So I wanted that back as much as possible. But like I said, and I think a lot of the political thing caused a lot of this too, because you have people that's on the right, people that's on the left, or whatever case may be, far right, far left, whatever way you want to call it. And yeah, I think that this election did, in some manner, create a lot of tension. But it had to. It had to create some attention, because we need more people to wake up and understand that it's not so much about Democrat and Republic. It's more so about what's right for the country and for the people, the citizens of America. And in order to, and it starts from leadership on down. We need leadership that is about America. And the more I start, and I was trying to stay away from this, but I guess this is where we're going. That's why I call it Freestyle Fridays, because I never know where it's going to go. And unfortunately, we'll probably have to go this way with it, is that the more and more I realize how much our politicians and our government has been wasting our taxpayer monies on everything but America. Our taxpayer money on everything but America. The more I become disgusted with our country. Not the country as a whole, but the government. And it's just sad. And to my point, I'm reading some of the stuff that the government has been spending money on. And everything in my gut wants this to be wrong. Like, I'm getting ready to tell you something, and everything in me says, this is not what really happened. They didn't do this. And I'm reading this report, something that I came across, and where they saying what government spending that, and it was talking about, and I'm gonna try to word this as best as I can, but they were talking about the people in government that have government credit cards where they can use it, go get money. You're right. I agree with you. My opinion is just kind of the same. It's America or nothing. Our country needs real leadership, and that starts from the top on down. And when I'm saying, back to what I was saying about the government spending, and like I said, everything in me says this is not true. Our government is not this dumb. So they were talking about government, the people in the government that have credit cards, that's government issued credit cards, meaning that they spending government taxpayers government money. I don't know how that works, but so much. But apparently they had spent over close to about $6 million on these credit cards, and the government almost don't even make sense to me. The government decides this is a problem, so they came up with a so-called program to study why they are overspent $6 million, and they funded this program with $100 million. So you spent $100 million to find out why the government people that had credit cards spent $6 million. And in my mind, I'm like, this can't be true. It can't possibly be true. But then I start reading other stuff that they were spending money on. It's like, they really this stupid. They are really this stupid. And if you ever really, they know the average American is not going to go look this stuff up. They're not going to go look at where the government is spending their money in these programs and these money that they grant and all this other stuff. They're not going to go look at it. And it's almost like we got 2-year-olds running our country and spending our taxpayer money. And that's why I think the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, is so necessary. Is because when I started looking at it, when I found out this is what they was doing, I was starting to go find out, okay, where really is the government is spending our money? And when I looked, I was just like, none of this stuff can't possibly be true. Maybe it's a typo. Maybe they worded it wrong. Maybe they mixed up some letters. I don't know, but it was, the level of spending was so stupid that it was like almost, it was unbelievable. I just like, no one in this world could possibly be running Washington and be this dumb. That's why I was like, maybe it's not true. I'd rather believe that it's not true than to believe that we have people in Washington that is that stupid. That's where my head is at. That is that stupid. And it's just almost like, but then when I started reading the other stuff, I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And so when people start talking about, why they, Elon Musk and Vivek is getting involved with this Doge thing, at that point, I said, it's essential. We need it. We need it. We need somebody to go in there and get rid of the fact. Now, I know Trump is the president and coming in soon, January 20, and I know he's coming in to do his job, but he can't do everything. And when you look at Twitter, that's now X, and what Elon Musk did to turn that around, that tells you right there that he understands business and he understands how to get rid of wasteful spending. And Vivek too, because they're both businessmen. They know how to run a business. They've been successful at what they've done over the years. And that's the type of people you want on your team to be able to get things done. Yes, they are. And I agree with you. I agree with you, American Redneck. I agree with you. They are really the problem. And it shouldn't. My thing is this: how can you say you care about this country and you waste that type of money? How can you say you care about the American citizens and you waste this type of money? And here's the thing: that's just that. The money that they've been spending on foreign stuff gets even more dumb. Like it gets ridiculously dumb. And I'm like, these people don't like this country. I am convinced wholeheartedly that these politicians do not like America. I'm convinced wholeheartedly. They don't like America. Because you can't possibly want to spend money that way and say you care about your country. You're spending billions of dollars to protect someone else's borders, but you're trying to open this country's borders. It just does not make sense to me. And, it's crazy. And here's another story. And I hate the fact that I ain't gonna say I hate the fact, but we on this conversation, so we're gonna keep going with this. And I was having a conversation with somebody, with a family member about now that family member voted for Trump. But we was having a conversation about the rhetoric of Trump being racist. And what we were talking about was, I said, and like the argument that they were making that he was a racist was about the dumbest argument you could possibly make. So, and my point was, they was like, oh, he wants to ban abortion. 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 He wants to get rid of Roe v. Wade, which, they got rid of it. They gave it back to the states, whatever. And I'm like, all right, if I know that there are over 600,000 abortions a year. And if I know that 40% of them is going to be done by black women, which means that there's going to be less black children born, then why would I want to get rid, if I'm a racist, why would I get rid of abortion? Like, that didn't make sense. Why would Trump fight against, to try to go, if he didn't like black people, and he knew, and I know he knows this, that the majority of the abortions that are done in America will be done by black people, then wouldn't you promote abortion? Like, Trump, you're not making sense. How can you say he don't like black people when everything he's doing is technically trying to make the black population more? If he did not like black people, then he'd be like, let's keep abortion the way it is, and matter of fact, let's promote it. That way we know that the black population in America will not grow as long as we keep these things in place. And matter of fact, when they was doing all those riots, right? And they were tearing up cities. Now, most people know that majority of the cities that was getting torn up were where black people live. He sent the military to the black communities to protect the jobs in the black community. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that was the only one that he did, but if he didn't care about black people, he could have said, well, let them tear it up. They ain't gonna have no jobs. And that way, when it's all said and done, they ain't gonna do no more robbing. More desperation is gonna set in, and they're gonna do more robbing and stealing to each other. So why not just leave them to their own demise? It just doesn't make sense to me. I could give you a bunch of other stories, but I'm just looking at the logical stuff. Like that, if I'm a racist, that's going against my mission. If my mission as a racist is to destroy a certain race of people, and if I already know that they're somewhat self-destructing, then I'm going to push and allow those things that is already working to work and find more creative ways to even get it better. But that's why I say don't make sense. And this is the reason why I refuse to support the Democratic Party, because that's exactly what they're doing. When they had their convention, what did they do? They opened up abortion clinic right outside. Come to the Democratic convention and you can off your baby. Because they already know that the vast majority of abortion is going to be done by the black community. And you know how they make sure that you have it? By keeping you under their thumb of oppression. And if you look at everything that's being done, the Republican Party, not all of them, but I'm saying the vast majority of it, the Republican Party is trying to liberate you for you to get your own. The Democratic Party is trying to keep you under the thumb and keep you under a level of oppression so that you will always be criminal-minded. You'll always be in a form of desperation, and you'll never be able to do it on your own because they're going to tax you out the game and make sure that you're under their thumb at all times. So they can control your movement and tell you how to vote and never give you an opportunity to get out of that situation. And they train them so well that when a person does try to remove from that situation, they met with hostility. They met with criticism. They called names. They called this and called that and called this and called that. And if you don't have a mental strength, you could be dragged right back into it. The only difference with me is I don't worry about what people think. I really don't let what people say affect me like that. I mean, I don't. And that's my whole point. So that's why I said you're not making... Appreciate you. And that's why I said y'all are not making sense. That if you really look at the Democratic Party, and I know they don't like when I say this stuff, but I think the Democratic Party is still being ran by the KKK. That's just my opinion. Don't mean it's right, but that's because everything that they're doing is literally trying to destroy the black community, but they're doing it in a way to make it look like they're doing something morally right when they're not. Now, I don't know if it's intentional or non-intentional, but that's the way that when I finally step back and start observing this stuff, I'm like, oh, man, we fell right into the trap. I don't know where it happened at, but we fell right into the trap. And that's why, I have to stand on the fact that I don't I had to stand on the fact that when I saw what Trump was saying, I saw what he was doing, and I looked at the 4 years that he was in, and I really did a deep dive. I said, man, I see why those that are supporting Trump, why they supported Trump. And I said, before I come out totally saying I'm going to vote for him, I need to find out what's really going on with the truth. And when I went to when he came to Philadelphia and he had his rally in Philly, I went there. And my reason for going there wasn't so much about the rally. I wanted to see if the news was lying and saying that all the people that are supporting Trump are racist and bigots and all this other stuff. So I went there looking for that. I didn't wear no Trump stuff. I didn't wear anything to say that. I just went there and I just started interacting with the people to see what the response would be. And it was nothing like the news said. And I said, oh, they lied about that too. And then the news said that these people wasn't from Philadelphia. They was from Trump flew them in. Now, I know for a fact that I'm not going to say all of them was from Philly. I know that. But I was asking questions. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm from Philly. So when you tell me something, I'm going to know where you're from. Because I'm going to know around the city where you live. And you say, I'm very familiar with the city of Philadelphia. So I asked people questions. And it was like, oh, I'm from so-and-so street. I'm from this street. I'm from that street. Some of them was from like the surrounding counties, which that's cool to some extent. And there was a lot of them that was from the city. There was some people that wasn't. But they were talking like Trump brought all of these people in. And I'm like, no, that's not what happened. That means clearly y'all wasn't questioning talking to nobody. Because I was talking to people, and it was a lot of people from Philadelphia that was at his rally. I knew because they told me where they were from. They walked to the rally from their homes. So I said, once again, they lying. And I realized at that point that the media, not all media, but most of the media like CNN, ABC, and all of those ones, I realized at that point is they don't care if they get up there and lie. They really don't. They don't have. I guess there's no consequences of getting up there as a news media and lying over and over and over, because I realized that. And then it took me back to when I remember years ago when Denzel Washington said that the news was fake, but he just did not word it the way Trump worded it. He just worded it a different way, but he was still saying that they were lying and it was fake news. He just didn't call it like Trump calls it. Fake news. He don't give you no fancy stuff in there. Denzel Washington was like, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. But if you don't watch the news, you're uninformed. And he said it in that fashion. And he said, you guys have a responsibility of telling the truth, and you're not concerned about that. All you want to do is be first, sell it. You don't care who it hurts. And I realized at that point that he was making a point then. But he didn't get criticized for saying fake news. Trump did. And I'm like, where's all this hostility coming from towards Trump? When I'm like, this dude has done a lot of stuff for a lot of people. And I'm like, why are they so hostile to him? But then I realized he was a disruption to their crimes. He disrupted Washington when he was in office, and they did not like it because they wasn't able to freely do the slick, sly stuff that they were doing and the corruption stuff that they were doing. And I'm quite sure that Trump learned a whole lot after the 4 years that he was in there. And then people would say, oh, well, he did lose. And I'll be honest with you, I'm glad he lost. I'm glad he lost in 2020. I still believe it's stolen, but I'm glad he lost. Because him going in office right now is better. Because now we have House and we have the Senate. And he has a better chance of accomplishing the things that the American citizens want. And like I said, whether you like him or not, I'm telling you that the vast majority of the stuff that I've heard come out of Trump's mouth is good for the citizens of America. It's good for America. Is he going to do everything perfectly? I know that's not going to happen. But I know for a fact that from everything that I've seen in this man, his intentions is for this country, and it has no skin color on it. It's about American citizens. And if he make America great, that is American citizens that's going to benefit from the greatness of this country. It has nothing to do with nobody's skin color. But it has everything to do with the country as a whole. So if our economy is thriving, that benefits everybody. If our country is safe, that benefits all of us. And all of the things that my thing is, let's say he's able to get past no tax on overtime. For every working citizen that ever had to work overtime and ever wanted to work overtime, and now get the opportunity to work overtime and keep all of your overtime pay, you might not want to go home for a while. Like, nah, I'm good. I'll stay, boss. I'll stay, boss. Why? Because there's a stronger incentive. And for the companies that's trying to, increase their production so that they can get more product out, that makes it easier for them to get people to want to stay, because now they're going to have to pay the overtime if they got to pay you, but now you really want to do it because of the fact that you got an incentive. You get to keep what you work overtime for. All of it, untaxed. That is wonderful. And for people that work in hospitality field and they're getting tips and stuff and not being able to take, that is the type of leadership that we're supposed to have. Not this government that keeps wasteful spending and never once cut back on all of this stuff so that the citizens can keep their money and they get to decide where they spend their money at. Not you take their taxes and go waste it on monkey feed. And I know that's not a such thing, but that's how wasteful it is. That's how stupid it is. This is the stuff that y'all be spending tax dollars on. It does not make sense to me. You can't say you care about this country and waste money like that. Billions of dollars for other countries, nothing for the citizens that you're taking the money from. And I know y'all getting backyard deals and y'all laundering this money back to yourselves. We know y'all doing it because it doesn't make sense unless you're getting something financial out of it. And we see it. That's why they voted y'all out. But we're about to make America great again. And you can clearly see that even other countries, even Wall Street, believes more in a Trump leadership than they do a Biden one, because everything responded to the Trump winning. Everything. Now the hype kind of slowed down and paced down or whatever the case may be. But my thing is this, even they trust Trump with this economy by far more than they trust this administration right here. Because honestly speaking, we got nothing out of this but horrible destruction. And I don't know how, I don't even understand how anybody can try to defend this stuff. That's the reason why, even when they was running against each other, you never heard her try to defend their position. They wanted softball, easy questions because they had nothing to run on. So their whole focus was trying to paint Trump as the bad guy, because to take your mind off the fact that they are really the bad ones. They're really the corrupt ones. They're really the ones that stealing your tax dollars. They're really the ones that don't know what they're doing, and they continuing in the same stupidity. And after this election, and Kamala Harris spending almost $1.5 billion on a campaign, ends up over $20 million overspent, people not getting paid to do the job they were supposed to do, clearly lets me understand that y'all don't know how to do things financially responsible. Because you couldn't even run a campaign and have nothing left over. Even that campaign ran into debt. So you ran up the debt. It makes sense why the country is in bad shape financially. Because y'all fools. So this is the reason why I'm surprised. That's the reason why they don't like Trump. And I'm glad that he was bold enough to tell the truth. He was bold enough to tell people the truth. And like I said, he's probably is by far the most transparent president we've ever had. Some of his transparency, I think, backfires on him because he's so transparent. But I like the fact that he's transparent to let you know exactly what's going on as much as he possibly can. Because everything else has been secretive since then. Before then. And I'm still trying to figure out who's running the country right now. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I really do not know, and I really don't believe Joe Biden is actually doing his job. And I tried to stay off that aspect of the subject, but I don't think he's doing it. I don't know who's doing it, but I think his wife is making a lot of decisions, and other people are. Maybe Obama, like they say. I don't know for sure, but I know for a fact that it's not Joe Biden. And the fact that they're trying to allowing these government workers to stay home and trying to give them contracts to be able to work from home. to me is a bunch of bullcrap. You know, y'all trying to do as much damage as y'all can before y'all leave office and trying to protect these jobs. My thing is this: if the job is necessary, why do y'all have to try to write contracts for these people to keep their jobs? If the job is necessary and you're doing it, let's say you're doing the job at home and it's taking you the hours that you're working, then what? My thing right there, the fact that you're trying to do that tells me that something corrupt is going on, because nobody's going to get rid of something that is needed. So if you got people that's working from home and they working 8 hours from home and they actually doing that, why would they get rid of that? Nobody's going to get rid of that. They're going to not, oh, you working 8 hours from home, even though you're at home and you're doing the job and it takes you this long to do the job. Why would they get rid of that? The only thing they're going to get rid of is stuff that ain't necessary. So the fact that y'all trying to write these rules and put this stuff and give these people contracts to be able to stay on these jobs for 5 years clearly tells me that these jobs aren't really needed. They are robbing the taxpayers out of their money. You're pretty much telling on yourself that you're robbing the taxpayers out of the money, and you want to continue to funnel all this money to these people that's not doing nothing for it, so they can stay home and collect a paycheck that they're not even earning. That right there, to me, is a problem, because you don't have to protect the job that is needed. You don't have to write a contract for a job that's needed. If they got in there and they start, if Doge got in there and they start looking for the ways of cutting costs, and they come across this and your job requires all of this and just have all of this stuff that you're doing, you don't have to protect that job, because ain't nobody gonna say, well, this person is consumed in 8 hours of work. We need to get, why would they do that? That don't even make sense. And the fact that you're trying to write these contracts and try to protect these jobs or save these jobs tells me that these jobs aren't really needed, because you wouldn't have to do that. And that's real talk. And, you know, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it very, very much. You know, and like I always tell people, you know, regardless of anything I say, if you don't have Jesus Christ in your heart, you're missing it. And that's the truth. And that's the biggest way we can fix this country and help bring people together, is a heart change. And that takes God to help you change your heart and give you the strength to do it. And his love will help you and teach you how to love others like your name is. And with that said, I'm getting ready to get up out of this live. I appreciate everybody that showed up. Appreciate the conversation. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with a brother. You know, much love. Hey, hopefully y'all having a blessed Friday. Please stay safe. Don't want to hear no bad news. What's up, Mike in the building? Don't want to hear no bad news. If you guys come across a good story, you know, send it to me. Let me know. I want to be able to put these type of stories in there, you know, with some good stuff. Not bad stuff, good stuff. But with that said, y'all please have a blessed day and have a wonderful night. Peace.